Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how to take your Vroid character and put it into Bonelab. So we're going to be starting from scratch. Here we are in Vroid Studio. This is the Steam version of Vroid Studio. I don't think that makes a huge difference, but here we are. We're just going to pick a random hairstyle to go for. We can change the color to whatever we want. Let's go for an outfit and let's pick something simple. Let's go for this. There we go, nice and simple. And we're going to basically, just after that, go to export as VRM, and we're just going to export the file. For this bit, all you have to do is put in a title and put the creator. So we're just going to do Bonelab test. And for creator, we're just going to put Beretta. Then we're going to scroll all the way down and click export. Then we can pick a folder to put it into. So we're just going to pick this one here on my desktop and click save. And then after a few seconds, it will process and give you your VRM file. Next, we are going to go to where that VRM file is. We are going to copy it, just a Control-C, Control-V. We're going to right-click the copy and rename the end of it. So we're going to change from VRM to GLB. Hit enter. It's going to say, are you sure you want to do that? You're going to click yes. And now we have a new file to play with. Next, we are going to open up Blender. This is the Steam version of Blender. It does work with the other version of Blender, but I couldn't get it working personally, so I'd say just install the Steam version. It makes it a lot easier. Okay, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to delete the camera light and cube just by clicking them and hitting delete. So then we're going to go File, and we're going to go Import, and we're going to click this GLTF because that accepts GLBs. Then we're going to navigate to our folder where we saved our GLB file, and we're going to import it. Right, here we go. Here it is. We can't see anything on it. All the colors are gone. That's because we have to click this little button over here. And that brings in all of our materials. There we go. Now the character does look a little bit different. There is an adjustment with changing the materials and such, but that's just something we're just going to have to live with. Next, what we want to do is we want to click over here on the armature, and we want to go down to this little skeleton man. We want to go viewport display and click in front, which is going to show us all of the bones on the character. Then we're going to look at the hands, because if we look at the hands, you can see that the thumb is broken. And if we import it like this into Bonelab, the thumb will still be broken. So I'm going to quickly just adjust the thumb, and you can pretty much see how you're supposed to do it. Firstly, we're going to change object mode to edit mode, and then we can click the individual bones. So we are just going to be hitting R to start a rotation, then holding down Z. You can hold down Z, X, or Y to lock the axes. So you can see it's turning this way, it's now not turning at all, or it's turning this way. So we're gonna move it like that, so it's the way of the thumb, and then we're gonna hit G to move it around, also stick it to an axis, and we are going to try and move it along here. We're gonna rotate it a little bit. Right, there we go, move it like that, and doing that technique, I'm gonna fix both thumbs so that they look like this. Now, you can see that pretty much the base thumb bone is starting over here around the wrist, and we're going to be moving it along. I don't know if that's perfect, but it should look kind of like this. It would also be important to save at this point so that you can come back to this point if you've done the thumb wrong. I don't know why VRM files have such weird thumbs, but Bonelab, it does not like it. It works in things like VRChat, but not in Bonelab. Something super important to remember is that you're going to have to click on these bones and go to your bone icon over here, and we're going to have to change the roll value. So for your right hand, we're going to have to change all three of these to -90. This is just going to rotate them, even though it's not going to look like it. I'm going to change all three of those to -90, and then for the other side, we're going to click on these and we're going to change these to 90. So next, what we are going to do, just so we can make things easier to see, we're going to turn off the viewport display. So again, skeleton, viewpoint, and turn off in front. So now we've got our character again. We're going to go back to object mode. We're going to select our armature, and we're going to go File, and external data and unpack resources, and we're going to go overwrite existing files. What we are currently doing now is attaching the texture files and materials to our model. Next, we're going to be going scripting, and you're going to open a file that is in the description down below. It is a Python script, and you're basically just going to open it, and here we are. This is the script. There will be a video in the description, A, where I got this from, and B, explaining what exactly it does. I don't really know exactly what it does, and you shouldn't really trust things on the internet, but I did, and it's worked out so far. Next, we're going to click the little play button over here, and we're going to see that something has changed over here. That means it's worked, even though it looks like nothing has changed. We're going to go back to our layout. We're going to see that the textures are gone for a second, and then they're back. That's a good sign. And then we're going to go File, Export, and FBX. Now, what's important here is that once we're at this point, we have to go to Path Mode, Copy, and click this little square on the side. If you don't do that, the materials won't work and you'll have a really rough time trying to fix them. Right, so next we're going to save this as a Bonelab test. Okay, next we are going to be opening up Unity. Now, the version of Unity and what you have to install when installing it will be in the description below, as I don't want to take up too much of your time. It should be a very simple process. Use unityhub, it makes it a lot easier, and it'll install everything for you. And then you should see a similar screen to this one open for you. Next, you're going to have to go to Windows, Package Manager, and at the top left here, you're gonna have to go over here and add package from get URL. There are also going to be get URLs, so you can install the mod SDK for Bonelab. Now, something that's very important, before you open up Unity, you have to install get. Another link will be in the description for you to install that. If you don't do that, this install method won't work. So just make sure you do that. If you haven't done it yet and you've opened up Unity first, just close Unity, install get, and then open up Unity again. All right, here we are. You should see that there is a stress level 0 tab right up here at the top. You can go Void Tools and Asset Warehouse. When you click on that, this little tab will pop up. I've put it over here just to make everything look a little bit neater. And I've made a little folder for Bonelab test and brought in our FBX file that we just got from Blender. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is click over here. We're going to go to rig and we're going to change it from generic to humanoid, and then we're going to click apply. All right, when that is finished loading, we're going to go materials. We're going to go extract textures and click select folder. And then we're going to go extract materials and select folder. Make sure you do it in that order, otherwise the textures won't add properly and you'll have to individually add the textures to the materials, which is a big pain in the butt. If that doesn't work and your character doesn't currently have materials on them, you should be able to see their colors change in the little picture here. It means that you messed up somewhere in Blender using the script, so go back to your Blender, open up your save file that you hopefully have, and repeat the process in the video. Next, we've got the rig set up, we've got the materials set up. We are just going to pull the character over here. Right, now they're facing the wrong way. Now they might not be facing the wrong way for you, but they are indeed facing the wrong way. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go prefab, unpack completely. We're gonna open this up and we should see a bunch of things here. We're gonna click on the armature. We're gonna go here to the rotation. We're gonna go to Y and we're gonna change that to 180, which turns our character around, yay! Now, two things you're immediately seeing is that there are black marks all over the character's face, and the materials are very, very shiny. How to fix those two things is to go through these materials. You'll see that we have body skin, we have iris eyes, and all of these are your materials. If you're used to Unity, this won't be anything new to you, but how you fix the shininess is you just click on a material and you change smoothness down to 0. I think it'll be obvious if we do their clothes, or the hair actually. If we drop that, there we go, now it looks like normal hair. We can pick a level in between here if we want to, but I usually just turn all of them off. Okay, so now all my shininess is gone. Next, we have all of these black lines to deal with. Now, we don't have to change every single texture, but for the ones that are affected, we are going to go through and let's go to our eye line and we're going to click on opaque and we're going to change it to transparent. And there we go, I think. Okay, and now those lines are gone. Our character's eye line is very, very light though, so we can't really see the difference. Let's now find her eyelashes, which I think are these ones, and we're going to change it from opaque to transparent. There we go. And lastly, we just need to find her eyebrows, and we change those from opaque to transparent. There we go. Now the character's looking very clay-like, which is very odd. If you want to add any glow to your character, let's say for our hair, we're going to click on the hair material. So you can see because of the color. There we go, here's the hair material. And we're going to click on emission. We're going to click on this over here. We're going to set a color, and because it was blue before, we're going to change it to blue now. And we can change the intensity of how bright we want it to be. One way to check the intensity is to just go to your directional light and turn it off. And we still have other lights going on. So let's go to rendering, lighting, environment, and turn that off as well. There we go. Now you can see that everything is completely dark other than the hair, and we can change the amount of brightness that it gives off. You can see it has that glow. That does show up in game, so if you do want that glow, there you go. We're just gonna have a light glow to basically just show that let's have a strong glow. There we go, awesome, fantastic. We can still see how glowy it is now. Okay, next step. We are going to go to armature, root, hips, and we're gonna go spine, chest, upper chest, neck, head, and we are going to go to our eye. Okay, next we're gonna right click, go create empty, and we're gonna call it eye line. We can call it anything we want to, but it is gonna be used as the eye line for where the camera is. So we're gonna bring that over a little bit to the middle of the character's face, and we're gonna bring it out of the front. So just make sure it's a little bit out in front of the character's face, otherwise you're gonna see the inside of their head. I have made mistakes with that. It looks horrible. So make sure it's in the eye line. Perfect. Right, now what we're gonna be doing with that is if we close this down, we can add an avatar component. How you find this is you just go Ava, and you can see avatar. That's added with the mod SDK. And now we can see that it has properly allocated a skeleton to the character. And how we can change up this skeleton is simply by clicking this edit body. We can start moving these things around to make sure that they fit. I am now gonna click and drag these around. The simple thing is that if you grab the ball, you can make it bigger or smaller. And if you grab the arrow, you can move it backwards and forwards. So I'm gonna quickly adjust that for my character. You can do that as well in your own time. Basically just gonna wanna make it fit to your character. So you want to create the head to the top of their head, is that right? Yep. The head shape does look very, very odd. I'd leave the head shape as it is unless your character has a very strange head. You cannot make it big enough to fit the proper Vroid head, so I'd say just leave it as is. Okay, now everything fits properly, and we are just gonna deselect that. If you want to add boob physics to your character, all you have to do is click edit soft body, and you'll see this appears. Just drag it out a little bit, and this is going to be an individual boob, and it'll be duplicated on the other side, so you just need to place it correctly of where it needs to be. I think bringing it out a little bit more and then positioning it where you want it, and then pushing it back is probably the easiest. Next, you're going to want to scroll down here to advanced settings, scroll down to soft bulges, and add in your left bust to the secondary left, and the right bust to the primary right. Okay, and lastly, once we've done that, we're gonna grab our little object here, we're gonna drag it back into our folder here at the bottom. Now we'll see that it'll be facing the other direction compared to when we first started, and we're just gonna go and open our asset warehouse over here, create a palette. As far as I understand, a palette is an entire mod pack that you're adding. So we're just gonna call this one Bonelab test, as we have been this whole time. The author is me, Vroid, and we're gonna create. Okay, once it's finished, we can just hit refresh and we'll see it appears there. If you click off and onto it, we can see this appear on the inspector. We're going to add a crate. Now a crate is going to be any object that you add to the mod pack. So for this mod pack, we're only going to be having one avatar. So we're going to change this to avatar crate, and we're going to go and find our model, which is going to be here. And we're going to drag in our object, and it'll automatically create a name for you, which I am fine with, and we're going to click create. Then if we click refresh over here, we'll see that underneath our palette, we now have an avatar grade with our avatar in it. Perfect. Next, we're just gonna click on the palette up here at the top. If it doesn't show up immediately, just click away and click back, and we're going to click pack for PC. All right, next we should be given this folder here. It will be somewhere else for you, but I've just copied it here for understanding's sake. We are going to copy it, and we are going to go to our search bar and type in percentage back here, data, and percentage again, and hit enter mods and paste it. And next, we're going to end up in app data roaming. So we're going to go back to app data. We're going to go local low. We're going to push S to go down to stress level 0. We're going to go Bonelab, and here we're going to have mods. This is where you're going to place that folder. So we're just going to go back here, copy the Bonelab test, go back to mods and paste it. And that is done. Now you can open up Bonelab and check out your model. Okay, so something important to note is that currently with this method, your wrists twist very, very weirdly, and your feet sink into the ground a tiny bit. I have been trying to fix those two things, but I've been trying to fix the thumbs for 3 days, so I don't actually know how to fix those two yet. If anybody does figure out how to do that, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll make sure to pin that comment. So if there aren't any pinned comments, it means that no one has figured out how to do it, and we are stuck with broken wrists. One way to fix that quite nicely is just to use a character with very long sleeves, or give them something like a watch or a wristband. But yeah, there you go. There's your character from Vroid all the way into Bonelab. I hope this helped a bunch of people. This was something that I wanted to do immediately as soon as I knew the game was coming out and had this feature. So I've been trying so hard to figure out how to do it, and here it is. As you can see, the hair isn't super perfect either. I think there is a way where we can set up the hair meshes to properly have gravity and physics and such, but for now, I haven't figured that out. So feel free to mess around with that. I know there is a hair meshes section in the avatar script in Unity, so have at it. But yeah, if you like the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And yeah, I am a VR game developer. My name is Vroid, and I'm going to be releasing demos and cool things. So if you want more tutorials for VR things or other video games to play, because we don't have enough VR video games, which is literally why I became a VR game developer, make sure to like and subscribe, because that'll give you more things to do. And I think we all want more things to do. So, yeah. Anyway, bye.